Well, hello there everyone, and welcome back to the Spigot coding series, episode 3. And this time we are going to further improve on the first time equipment system we have worked on last episode. And this time we are going to add a custom item to the player inventory. And with custom item, I mean having a custom display name, a lore, which is just a description underneath the item, and maybe an enchantment as well. So let's get right into it. So the very first thing I want to do, because in the next episode I want to further work upon that to give the item a special right-click interaction, we're going to do a small thing right here. We're going to create a new Java class and call this let's just call this ItemUtils. And in this class I'm going to do a new public static ItemStack, and I'm going to call this bunny hop item. I'm going to make this into a method so we can actually create the item inside of here and modify it to our likings. So the first thing we need to do is declare a new item stack. I'm going to call this item, and it's going to be a new item stack. The material, I'm going to use a rabbit foot right here. Now we just need to return the item, and just like that, in the player join event we're using right here, instead of typing the new item stack right here, I'm just going to add a new item to this list. We can now just do itemutils.bunnyhopitem. And now we can just modify this item right here and have a universal bunny hop item that if we change it and we have multiple instances of this being called throughout the plugin, it will always be the same thing, and you don't have to change it individually in every single class you're using this item. We just have one util class where we declare all the items that we're going to use throughout the plugin. Now to modify the item, you can not just do item set display name, for example. This does not work. We can add an enchantment to this item right away, but if you want to do it the correct way, we have to get the item meta of the item. And to do this, we have to declare a new item meta. I'm going to call this iMeta, and this is equals to the item.getItemMeta. Now with this iMeta, we can modify a whole lot more of things. We can set a display name, we can set a lore, we can add the enchantments, we can add item flags, we can do a whole bunch of stuff with this. We can also set this equipable in the latest Minecraft version. I really don't remember which version it was. You can make any item equipable, you can make any item as a food component. You can do a lot of things with this in the new versions, which is absolutely great. I think you can also do I don't know the actual method name for this, but you can definitely make it as a tool. I think it's just called, yeah, you can just set tool and put a tool component in there and make it pretty much mine any blocks you want. Either make it mine any blocks that a pickaxe can mine, or you can declare some custom blocks that the item should be able to break. This is something we can definitely touch on in the near future, but for now I only want to give this item a name, a small description, and also we can add a enchantment to this. So let's start by doing imeta.displayName. You see we have to put a component in here again. So let's do a component.text. I'm going to call this bunny hop, and I'm going to color this by using text color.color using RGB values, and I'm going to give this a 0, 150, 255. This is going to be a light blue. I'm also going to add a decoration to this, and the decoration is going to be bold true. All right, now to create the lore, we can do two different approaches. Either we declare a new array list. This takes a component as well, and do this the lore list equals new array list, and then we can do lore list add component.text line 1, line 2, and line 3. And then we can just type imeta.lore and then the lore list. That is way one of doing it, which me personally, I actually prefer. Or you can also just do imeta.lore And then you can do arrays.asList, and then just type component.text line 1, line 2, and line 3. So these are the two ways you can do it. I mean, you can do either that you want. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to use this one for now. So let's do a small description here. So the bunny hop item, I'm just going to write component.text, and then I'm going to type right click, set the color to a, let's do a purple right here. And then in the next line, I'm going to write leap into the direction you are currently looking. And I'm also going to put a small color right here. I'm going to make this a gray color scheme. This is how I mostly do it on my SLP game server as well with the item descriptions, but I have like uniform colors for this. So yeah, this is pretty much everything you need to do for the display name and the lore. Just to show you guys how the enchantments work, I'm going to do imeta.add_enchant, the enchantment, and you can choose pretty much any enchantment you want, even if it's not actually compatible with the item. So for this, let's just do Frostwalker. And then you need to put the enchantment level in here. I'm just going to actually do 50. If you put true right here, it's just telling the plugin that it should pretty much ignore the max enchantment level that could be applied to the item right here. So if you put 50 in here and put this as false, it will give you an error that you can actually not apply the enchantment level to the item because level 50 is too high for Frostwalker. Alright, that is pretty much everything we're going to do with this item. Now that we have already declared the item right here, but we are only getting this item if you join for the very first time, I'm going to quickly export this to the server and delete my player data from the world, just so you guys remember how to do this. First of all, you need to leave the server, and then if you go to your world folder, in the stats folder, you have to delete the file matching your UUID. And if I am going to join the server right now, you can see I actually get the item right here. And as you can notice, the item name has actually not changed, and we also haven't received the item description yet. That is because we have to do one final thing, because if you just overwrite the item meta like this, you're pretty much doing everything for nothing. At the very end, what you have to do is actually reset the item meta to the item meta we have just modified. Because if you do not do this, we're just pretty much overriding the item meta right here, but we're not applying it to anything. Alright, I have reloaded the server with the changes. I have deleted my play data again. If I reconnect again, you can already see the item is actually glowing, and if I hover over it, it's called Bunny Hop. The enchantment Frostwalker is applied on level 50, and you can also see the description right here, right click, leap into the direction you're currently looking. Everything is working as intended. One thing you will instantly notice though, on the item lore, the entire text is in cursive. That is actually default to the item lore. So if you want to remove that, you just have to decoration, italic, false. Just remove the italic from the entire description. This is actually default on the item lore. And the fact that the item name is also italic is because the item is enchanted. So if I want to remove that as well, just add the decoration italic to false here too. And now if I am going to upload the plugin to the server again, reload and delete my server data, you can see that the item name is no longer cursive and the item description is also the way we want it. You can definitely see that the Frostwalker enchantment is kind of intrusive right here. So if you just want to give the item the glow like this, without showing the enchantments, what you can do is in your item meta, add the item flag.hide enchants. So now after reloading and rejoining for the very last time, you can see the item has a glow, the name is here, and the description is also looking perfectly fine, the way that we want it to. Also, if we use 100, 100, 100, it's the same color as you can see right here, the components and the Minecraft registry name. So just use 100, 100, 100, and you can pretty much hide it as any plain default Minecraft description. So that is everything I'm going to show you today. In next episode on Friday, we're going to go over the item interactions, and we're going to make it so if I right click with this item, you pretty much just get launched in the direction you're looking by a tiny bit. So if you want to see this, definitely tune in next Friday again, and I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope to see you next time again. Goodbye.